I know it's been a year since I released the first part of Ninja Steel Rewritten. I've seen the comments. Plenty of people have been commenting on posts and videos asking where the heck the second part is. And here it is finally. However, moving forward after this video, future parts of Ninja Steel Rewritten will be a little different editing wise because these videos do take up a lot of time to edit. So what I'm going to be doing is just editing the audio and then slapping a graphic onto the video. Call it a day. These videos are more meant to be listened to anyways. They're kind of like a podcast type of video anyways. So I don't think the graphics matter too much. And honestly, yeah, if I could just get these video out sooner rather than later, that'd be great. Great for me, great for you guys. So hopefully that's okay with everyone. But yes, hopefully videos should be coming out faster than this one did. Welcome to part 2 of my rewrite of Power Rangers Ninja Steel. If you haven't seen part 1, please go check that out up there. That lays out all the groundwork, all the basics right there. In this video, we are actually going to be going into each of those episodes. So how this is going to work is going to be very similar to my Megaforce and Super Megaforce rewrites. I'm going to go episode by episode, giving the episode title, and basically giving a description of each of the episodes, what happens in each episode, what are the most important points of it, and of course I'm going to be spending more time on the plot heavy episodes as opposed to like the filler episodes. But I'm gonna give a lot of information, I think, in all of these episodes because I did change a lot. Like I mentioned in part 1, I changed a lot. Like I said, this is a very ambitious rewrite. Before we get into it, I do have to say, and I'll probably mention this in every part of this miniseries, I do not claim or own any of the names that I use in this rewrite that were used in the original Ninja Steel or Super Ninja Steel show. This is essentially just a fan fiction, so I don't own any of those names. So without further ado, let's get into it, starting off with episode 1, Forged in Ninja Steel, part 1. Preston, Mick, and Redbot are slaves in Galvanax's ship, the Galaxy Shogun Dome. Galvanax sets course for Earth after 12 years in hopes of finding a powerful alloy called Ninja Steel to become the most powerful warlord in the universe. In order to build an army to take over the universe, he runs an intergalactic game show called Galaxy Shogun. On Earth, Calvin, Haley, and Sarah are introduced. They work at Maxwell's Auto Repair, a car shop which is owned by Dane, Calvin's dad. They notice that Brody is late for his shift again and assume he is working on his magic tricks. In the city, brothers Brody and Levi are introduced. Levi is heading to a recording studio to work on music while Brody works on his magic tricks. Brody realizes he is late for work and starts running. Suddenly, the sky turns black, and above them is the Galaxy Shogun Dome. Galvanax's foot soldiers, the Garubots, kidnap Levi and other civilians. Brody turns his back to witness it all. He defends himself from the foot soldiers. Galvanax and Raizo appear. The Ninja Steel Rangers, minus Red, show up not too long after that. These are the original Ninja Steel Rangers. They have gold sashes as opposed to like the colored ones, but they are destroyed by Galvanax. What? Rangers being destroyed in the first episode? Neo Saban could never. But I can because this is my rewrite. Preston and his friends witness this from the Galaxy Shogun Dome. The mysterious Ninja Nexus Prism appears suddenly. The red power star is already inside it. The 4 ninja power stars that belonged to the Rangers return to the prism. Galvanax takes the prism. Brody overhears Galvanax talking about staying within Earth's orbit now that the planet is defenseless. Meanwhile, an army of Garubots and Madame Odious attack civilians near the car shop. Calvin, Haley, and Sarah try to fend them off as best as they can. Madame Odious manages to capture some people, including Dane. On the Galaxy Shogun Dome, Preston meets Levi for the first time. Preston gives him some exposition. Sakura, Preston's mom,
was the greatest ninja to have ever lived. 24 years ago, the Ninja Nexus Prism appeared to her, which granted her the Red Ninja Power Star. So she was the original Red Ninja Steel Ranger with the gold sash. I should also mention that the Ninja Nexus Prism only contains 5 stars, unlike in the original show, which contained all 6. The prism told her that evil would come and that she must protect the Ninja Steel from it, which is what the Power Stars are made of. She formed her own team of Rangers. I'm not saying the prism talks or anything. The prism kind of just relays messages somehow. I don't know, psychic ability or whatever. Kind of like in the original show. 12 years later, years after she gave birth to Preston, Galvanax showed up to finally steal the prism. She hid it so that he wouldn't find it, so he decided to capture her and Preston to build his army. Preston has been separated from her ever since, and wonders if she's even on the Galaxy Shogun Dome anymore, or if she's still even alive. Back in present day, now that Galvanax has successfully taken more hostages, Preston feels like it's time for everyone to escape. Levi rises up to the challenge and helps him lead the plan. The two rally up the captured civilians. Mick transforms into a hot air balloon that allows the civilians to escape. So yeah, Mick still has the same power as he did in the original show. He can transform into different stuff. On the dome stage, Galvanax plans to raid Earth as it is defenseless. The Ninja Nexus Prism is also on stage. Galvanax tries to pull out the Power Stars, but can't. An alarm is set off, and Preston shows up to fight Galvanax. Levi holds off Raizo and some foot soldiers who are trying to stop Mick and the civilians from escaping. Preston is able to pull out the Red Ninja Power Star and become the Ninja Steel Red Ranger. And this time with, obviously, the normal colored sash. Preston fights Galvanax as the Red Ranger. Levi tells him that all the civilians have escaped. Preston takes the Ninja Nexus Prism and gets ready to escape with Levi and Redbot. Raizo holds Levi back and is left behind. Preston is devastated that he couldn't save everyone. Preston and Redbot try to ride the Ninja Nexus Prism to land, but it's out of control and crash lands on Earth. While looking for the ship in hopes of finding his brother, he sees something falling from the sky. Preston is forced out of Morph, and he and Redbot are left unconscious in a forest. The episode ends. You know, it's actually been a while since I've wrote this, and after reading this and reading this out loud, this sounds more intense than I originally remember, and I hope you all enjoyed that episode as well. I hope you enjoyed that premiere. But let's get into episode 2, Forged in Ninja Steel, part 2. Preston wakes up and sees Brody. They meet for the first time and help Redbot out of a bush. Preston needs to go find Mick. A monster, Korvaca, appears to steal the prism for Galvanax. Korvaca is a fear cat. Yeah, so I want to establish that. I want to establish that Korvaca is actually a fear cat who's from the same planet as the fear cats in Power Rangers Operation Overdrive, you know, because world building. Brody is able to pull out the blue Power Star and become the Ninja Steel Blue Ranger. The two Rangers destroy the monster, but the prism flies off, and the Rangers wonder where it's going. Galvanax sends Ripparat to find the prism this time. Meanwhile, Calvin, Haley, and Sarah are in the old paint room at the car shop where they hang out sometimes during breaks at work. They wonder what's going on with all these monsters attacking the city. Then they suddenly hear a loud bang outside. They rush outside and see Mick, who is on the floor, who just de-transformed from a hot air balloon, and the captured civilians. Calvin is reunited with his dad. Dane tells the three about the teens who saved his life. He and the civilians leave while the three stay and help Mick find his friends. The prism appears and lands near them. The 3 remaining Power Stars glow, and the 3 teens are able to reach in and grab them. Madame Odious, Ripparat, and an army of foot soldiers arrive to try to steal the prism and their Power Stars. The Red and Blue Rangers arrive just in time to help. However, they are knocked out of Morph. The teens are surprised that Blue is Brody. Preston realizes that the teens have the other Power Stars. He tells them to follow his lead. The 5 become Power Rangers Ninja Steel. While the Rangers fight the bad guys, Madame Odious is able to steal some of the ninja steel coating around the prism. Mick uses a ninja smoke bomb from Preston to escape with Redbot and the prism. Madame Odious retreats. The Rangers fight and defeat Rip Rat. Rip Rat grows big, and the Rangers use their ninja steel Zords to destroy him. Back at the car shop, Calvin suggests using the old paint room as the Rangers' base and to keep the prism. Brody asks Preston if there was another person on the Galaxy Shogun Dome. Preston remembers and realizes that Levi and Brody are brothers. Preston apologizes for not being able to save Levi, but is hopeful that he is okay due to his bravery. He promises to save him. Episode 3, Live and Learn. Preston learns how to adjust back to human life on Earth while training to be a great ninja like his mom. The Rangers fight and race against Spinferno. They combine their Zords into the Ninja Steel Megazord. Episode 4, My Brother's Keeper. Originally called Presto Changeo. Brody stays up late doing ninja training so he can save his brother, seemingly abandoning his ambitions to be a magician. Brody also blames Preston for not being able to save Levi. The Rangers fight Slogger, and Mick reminds Brody to not give up on his dreams, and that maybe his magic will come in handy someday. The Ninja Steel Megazord Dragon Formation debuts. Episode 5, Caught in a Web. Originally called Drive to Survive. Dane finally meets Preston, and is thankful for saving his life back in episode 1 and 2. So he hires him. Later on in the episode, Preston gets promoted to manager on his first day of work. Calvin is jealous and wants to be noticed by his dad. In this episode, the Rumble Tusk Zord is summoned and the Rumble Ninja Megazord is formed to destroy Tangleweb. At the end of the episode, Dane tells Calvin to keep up the good work he's been doing, and Preston steps down as manager. Calvin hopes he is promoted, but instead, another worker, Viv, is promoted to manager. Episode 6, More Than Dogs Can Chew. Originally called My Friend Redbot. Haley has been working at the car shop to save up money to go to a university to become a vet. She wonders if she is taking on too much. She gets captured by Bad Pipes. Raizo forms a rivalry against Preston. The Rangers gain the Ninja Nexus cycle. In the end, Haley is able to reduce her working hours at the car shop while still being able to earn enough money for university. We're getting into real world stuff. We got like going to university, we got work and stuff. Episode 7, Hocus Focus. This was originally Abracadanger, which was episode 18. And this is also more along the lines of its Sentai counterpart, which was Ninjutsu vs. Magic: The Great Battle, episode 9 of Ninninger. Brody has noticed that his magic has been improving. Mick tells him that his magic skills are improving because it's reacting to the ninja steel. So the more he improves on his ninja skills, the better his magic becomes. Sarah challenges Brody, saying that science and technology are far superior to magic. Brody's magic is put to the test when his teammates are turned into various objects by Abracadanger. Sarah thinks her tech will beat the monster. She ends up helping Brody save the others as they realize that both tech and magic are useful as long as they work together. Surprisingly, while the Rangers are in the Ninja Steel Megazord Dragon formation, the Astro Disc Zord attacks them, but the Rangers are able to take it down. The Rangers try to confront the mysterious pilot. On the ground, the Zord slowly opens, and as the Rangers slowly approach the Zord, the pilot blasts them and escapes. The Rangers are unable to see who the pilot was. I wonder who the pilot is. So obviously some original Zord footage has to be shot or made for this particular scene, so, you know. Higher budget, yay! Episode 8, Perfectionist in Pink. Originally episode 7, called Hack Attack. Sarah tries to fix the Astro Disc Zord. She wants to be perfect at everything she does, so she builds a machine to clone herself. The monster Hacktrack hacks the device and clones Galvanax. Sarah learns her lesson in trying not to be perfect at everything and trying not to do everything at once, and she is able to fix the Astro Disc Zord, which then combines with the Ninja Steel Megazord to make the Astro Ninja Megazord. Episode 9, Seeking Answers. This episode was actually inspired by episode 8 of Ninninger, the Nekomata who leapt through time. there's no Ninja Steel counterpart to this episode. The Rangers are sent to the past by Cato Clock. While there, Preston tries to find out what happened to his mother and where she could be. Haley helps him, but also reminds him that his team is there for him. And in this episode, a small glimpse of a mysterious golden ninja is shown. Episode 10, Starstruck. Originally, this was episode 8, called Gold Rush. I also took inspiration from its Ninninger counterpart, episode 10, Yeehaw, the Gold Star Ninja. Haley shows the Rangers a new song that has gone viral overnight by a new singer named L. Weston. Brody says that the singer sounds just like his brother. The others, minus Preston, have never met him, and Preston doesn't know his singing voice. Sarah finds out that the singer is doing a face reveal at Summer Cove Park that afternoon, so they decide to go to see if Brody's suspicions are true. At the park, a cloaked figure enters the stage. It's a new, mysterious, golden-colored ranger. The audience and the Rangers are shocked. The ranger takes out his star guitar and plays a song that puts the audience, including Calvin and Sarah, into eternal slumber. Confused, the 3 remaining Rangers confront him. Odious appears and reveals that he is the Star Ranger who works for her. The Star Ranger overwhelms the other Rangers and steals the yellow and pink power stars. Odious sends the Star Ranger to the city to put more people to sleep, while Mick and Redbot teleport to take the sleeping Calvin and Sarah back to the base. The 3 remaining Rangers fight the Star Ranger. And this episode will use the fight between Star Ninja and Aka, Ao, and Shiro Ninjas. Preston is able to retrieve the pink and yellow power stars from the Star Ranger, but is also put to sleep. The Rangers are able to escape without any more power stars being stolen. At the base, Brody is able to use a spell to free the slumbering Rangers. The Rangers think Brody should use that same spell on the sleeping civilians, but he isn't sure if his magic is powerful enough to awaken a big crowd. The Rangers wonder what's going on with the new Star Ranger, but Brody has his suspicions. The Star Ranger and Stone Dozer head to the city to cause more havoc. 4 of the 5 Rangers show up just before the Star Ranger puts more people to sleep. The Red Ranger fights the Star Ranger, while Pink, White, and Yellow Rangers fight Stone Dozer. Meanwhile, Brody tries to wake up the civilians with his magic, but nothing works. He then remembers something from his past, an old memory of him and his brother, which gives him the idea to use his magic to summon a guitar and a loud amp. He plays terribly, and that wakes up everybody. Brody joins the 3 Rangers fighting Stone Dozer, and Stone Dozer escapes. The Star Ranger summons his Robo Rider Zord and Ninja Bull Zord to form the Bull Rider Megazord and fight the Ninja Steel Megazord. I think more original Zord footage is needed for this too. The Megazord fight ends in a draw, and all Rangers eject from their Megazords. Everyone is knocked out of morph, including the Star Ranger. The Rangers see that the Star Ranger is in fact Levi. Levi teleports away. Yeah, evil Star Ranger, let's go. Kind of like a callback to the evil Green Ranger from the first season, because since this is like, well, Ninja Steel isn't the 25th anniversary, but it leads into Super Ninja Steel, which is the 25th anniversary. So I thought it was a good callback for this anniversary episode or season. Episode 11, A Star is Born, originally called Rocking and Rolling, which was episode 9. At the car shop, Haley and Sarah talk about how they still can't believe that Brody's brother is a Star Ranger. Suddenly, stuff starts falling off the shelves. Stone Dozer and new elite foot soldiers called Garubashers are causing earthquakes throughout the city. The Rangers show up to fight the monsters. Levi shows up and Brody faces him. After trying some magic on him, Brody realizes that Levi is under a spell. Afterwards, Brody tries to figure out a spell that will break Odious's spell, but her magic is really strong. Later, after witnessing Levi combining his powers with Stone Dozer, Brody gets the idea to combine his magic with Levi's star power. In order to do so, Preston steals Levi's star guitar. He is successful in his plan, and Levi is turned back to normal. Levi morphs into the Star Ranger as a good guy for the first time and defeats Stone Dozer. Levi uses his Zords to destroy the monster once and for all. The brothers reunite, and Levi tells the others what he went through on Galvanax's ship, including how he became the Star Ranger. Episode 12, second place, which was originally called Ace and the Race. Episode 13. Levi shows his team a new song that he's working on. Haley swoons over Levi's singing voice, and Calvin gets jealous. The two Rangers and Preston have to work together to race against Shoe Spike. And this episode needs to have some editing done because it does feature the Fusion Zord. So we're gonna have to cut and paste and paste the Ninja Steel Megazord in there. Episode 13, Making Waves. This was originally in season 2, episode 4, by also the same name. I thought that the Surfer Zord being in season 2 was kind of weird. I don't know, it just felt like that Zord should have been already in season 1, and we should have just gotten that, taken care of in season 1. So, in my rewrite, we're changing that up. This episode is fairly similar to the original. Sarah's mom Bianca and Haley's dad Aaron meet for the first time and take a liking to each other. But unlike the original episode, Sarah and Haley think that this is strange for them to date, so they try to sabotage their date. Whoa. Aaron, who is a marine biologist, impresses Bianca with a machine that will improve the quality of sea life by delittering it. The monster Doomwave and Odious steal it and turn it into the Super Typhooner, which Doomwave plans to use to unleash a giant typhoon on the city. The Rangers gain the Wave Surfer Zord and form the Wave Ninja Megazord. In the end, Sarah and Haley destroy the Super Typhooner and realize that their parents deserve happiness. Episode 14, Life's a Video Game. Originally called Game Plan, this episode was also in season 2. The Rangers start playing a new video game called Ranger Royale, which is based on themselves, the Power Rangers. Brody unexpectedly ends up being the most addicted to the game. Everyone in the city is also playing this new game, seemingly also addicted. However, the game was created by Game Goblin. As players play the game, it starts controlling the Rangers when morphed, causing them to fight each other instead of the monster. The more the Rangers fight, the more points the monster gets, making him stronger. Levi eventually is able to get Brody to realize what he has done. Game Goblin is destroyed, and the game goes obsolete. Episode 5, Phony Friends. Originally episode 16, called Monkey Business. Phone Pan Z, that's such a bad pun, oh my god, has the power to change his voice to sound like anyone. So he uses that power to trick the Rangers and start some infighting. Haley especially gets mad at Calvin, almost breaking up with him. Haley and the others are able to overcome their quarrels and defeat the monster. Episode 16, Poised and Poisoned. This was originally called Poisonous Plots, episode 11. Toxicity poisons Preston. He will be destroyed at sunset unless the Rangers give her their power stars in exchange for the antidote. Preston doesn't allow the team to hand over their stars. They think of a plan to trick Toxicity and get the antidote. Episode 17, Dream Tree, originally called The Ranger Ribbon, episode 10. Levi mentions that he entered a big music competition where the winners get a record deal with a huge record label and will go to Hollywood to record a debut album. Brody's and Levi's rich uncle Kervin, who owns a famous tech company, arrives to chop down an important tree for a new building. The Rangers do their best to protect it while dealing with Trapsaw, a monster who is from the same planet as Ripperat. Kervin tells Brody and Levi that they should have real jobs and not chase after silly dreams like being a magician or a musician. He offers them a job at his tech company. Brody considers it, but eventually realizes he shouldn't give up on his dreams. Meanwhile, Preston fights Rizzo one-on-one. The Rangers realize Preston has been missing for a while, so Levi offers to see where he is. Levi finds him dueling Rizzo. Episode 18, Rizzo Arises. Originally episode 12, called Family Fusion. Preston wakes up in the base. From his duel with Rizzo, he is too injured to fight. Sarah has been working on a way to combine the Ninja Steel Megazord and the Bull Rider Megazord. It's challenging because Levi's Zords were created by Odysseus' spell. With the help of the prism, she is able to make the fusion power star, which Preston uses to fight and destroy Raizo. The Rangers use the star to form the Ninja King Megazord. Giant-sized Raizo is officially destroyed. Galvanax is furious that the Rangers destroyed his trusted general. The Rangers celebrate their victory at the base. As Levi gets ready to go practice for the music competition the next day, he attacks his own team out of nowhere. Whoa, Levi, chill. Episode 19. Remnants of Evil. This was originally called Tough Love from Season 2. Levi suddenly stops attacking his team. It turns out that there are still some remnants of Odious' evil spell in the power stars that Levi uses, which causes Levi to turn evil on and off. The Rangers deal with Spyclops, who makes Levi's star power more powerful, causing him to be more evil. The Rangers eventually destroy Spyclops, but there is still some leftover evil spell in the star power star, so Levi has no choice but to put his star into the prism in hopes of it fully healing. So there's gonna be a big theme about destiny and creating one's own destiny in these two shows. So this kind of starts that theme. In the end, the Rangers watch Levi perform at the music competition. And of course, Levi wins. Before I get into episode 20, there are 2 other episodes in this season that I do want to talk about, even though, I mean, technically they would be episodes 21 and 22, I guess. I don't know. The ordering of these holiday episodes are weird because we do have the Halloween episode and the Christmas episode, but these aren't really necessary for the story of the season. So I'm just gonna quickly go through them, and they're essentially the same as the Ninja Steel episodes, the original Ninja Steel episodes. Episode 21, Grave Robber, which is the Halloween episode. The Rangers are sent to a dimension where the Rangers themselves are monsters they've already beaten. Levi must save them. And episode 22, Past, Presence, and Future. This is the Christmas episode. Cleocatra freezes the Rangers for destroying her cousin Cat O'Clock. Sarah must work with Santa Claus and travel throughout time to save them. Now that we got those out of the way, let's talk about the finale of Ninja Steel. Episode 20, the final round, originally called Galvanax Rises. After Raizo's defeat and Odious's continued failures, Galvanax steps up as Galaxy Shogun's final contestant. Raizo had been working on a Ninja Steel detector that could attract Ninja Steel. Galvanax mocks Odious for not even thinking of such an idea. Odious gets mad. As Levi gets ready to leave for Hollywood, Galvanax lures the Rangers out by attacking the city himself. Levi wants to help, but the Rangers tell him to stay behind since he can't morph. Galvanax is successful in kidnapping 4 of the 5 Rangers, and tells Preston to meet in an hour to trade his power star for his friends, or else they'll be destroyed. At the base, Preston thinks that he should give up his power star to Galvanax. Mick reminds him that his team wouldn't want that, so they try to think of a plan. Levi tries to convince Preston to let him help, but Preston refuses. On the Galaxy Shogun Dome, the captured Rangers are on stage. Galvanax announces his final plans to steal the last power star and finally be the most powerful warlord in the universe. Later, Preston meets Galvanax, who has his team captured. Galvanax shows that he is in possession of their power stars on his Galaxy Shogun sash, and also has the attack and Zord ones in hand. He talks to Preston, insinuating that his mom is dead. At the base, Levi convinces Mick to let him go save the Rangers. Mick allows, but only if he takes him with him. Levi, as a Star Ranger, and Mick show up on the Ninja Nexus cycle to save the team. Preston makes the decision to destroy his own power star, which causes an explosion. Everyone is knocked off their feet. The power stars fly off of Galvanax's sash, and Mick retrieves them. The destroyed red power star is split into 3. The 3 power stars are inside the prism, which had shown up out of nowhere. With everyone confused, Preston reaches in to grab his star. The Rangers morph and fight Galvanax. Mick senses one of the stars in the prism calling out to him, so he reaches in and grabs the star, turning into another Ninja Steel Red Ranger. And of course, this time with the silver sash, just like in the original show. Galvanax then eats the attack and Zord power stars and grows giant. Odious, piloting the Galaxy Shogun Dome, shows up to betray Galvanax and uses the Ninja Steel detector to suck the Ninja Steel out of him. Even though she is targeting Galvanax, the Rangers also hold on to their power stars. As the prism also starts to fly away towards the detector, Preston gets the idea to ride it, just like in episode 1, along with Mick, and the two Red Rangers head straight towards the dome to destroy it with a final attack with their swords. In the sky, the two Reds and the prism prepare for another final attack against Galvanax, and the other Rangers join them. They all spin like ninja stars in the sky and defeat Galvanax, returning him to normal size. To the Rangers' surprise, the prism transforms Galvanax into a power star and traps it inside itself. Back at the base, Levi leaves for Hollywood, seemingly retiring from his duties as a Ranger. The 5 Rangers wonder who the third red power star belongs to. When Preston touches the prism, he gets a vision of his mother. He realizes that the third power star belongs to his mom. Mick says that means she's still alive. And cut! That is the end of Power Rangers Ninja Steel, the first season of the 2 seasons. Let me know in the comments what you think, and let me know how excited you are for Super Ninja Steel, my rewrite of Super Ninja Steel. Oh, I'm so excited. Stay tuned for the next parts of Ninja Steel Rewritten. Thank you all so much, everyone, for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. Follow us on our social media. We also have a Discord, so make sure to flex the toys, collectibles, all that good stuff. And we will see you all next time on Ninja Steel Rewritten.